welcome back to Gravity Rush. Now that we've done the first chapter of the military parade, we're going to be doing the second one because they happen right after each other. Yay!
Cool. I guess.
It's a good thing that the game gives you the option to take a break from the military.
To go back to being in the military.
Yeah, that's how it works. You know, you're just allowed to, and you have to salute every time you put your uniform on.
But yeah, they just kind of put them together because there's really nowhere else to put them. Because I think there's like one more mission before it just says, yeah, it's the end of the game time. Do anything you want to do beforehand. Which the game is at least nice enough to tell you that's going to happen.
Well, every game should tell you.
But they don't, which is why it's nice that they do.
Does this game let you keep on playing after you finish?
Yes, it does.
Okay, well that's also good too. But generally speaking, it's nice when a game gives you. I mean, granted, it usually comes off as a very big, like, oh crap, something's gonna happen kind of thing whenever you see it. But the game, walking into a point of no return, it accidentally sucks in every game.
Yes.
Especially in games where you can miss stuff permanently, like.
I'm trying to think of a good example.
I know that I haven't played many of them, but I know that the Tales of series has a lot of...
Those do that a lot because they seal things off.
And right now, Cat looks like an alternate Cammy costume for some reason. I don't know. I think it's the hair. It's probably the hair.
Is the city getting doused in kryptonite fog at the moment?
I mean, that's partially draw distance, so...
So it is. Okay, good.
I mean, technically, yeah. We're testing a new weapon thing, but it comes with risks.
I was more laughing at the commander lady's face. She was like contorting her body in the most bizarre way.
Oh, so Hollywood poster syndrome.
Yeah, where you have to turn your spine inside outwards and back and sideways.
But only if you're a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat does not have the right temperament to be in the military, and that's probably a good thing. But yeah, I can see why this is going to be the last part of this.
Funk.
She also has too many concussions to be in the military.
This guy only got a mild concussion.
Only a mild concussion.
So you're not allowed to shift gravity right now.
No.
Oh, good. It's a good thing that the only Nevi that found them are
Came on,
the little weak-ass grunts that...
Whew, thank God.
It would be a problem if if they were big and you couldn't just kick them to death.
Or they were flying ones.
Or they were flying ones. Yeah, that's also,
If it was a big flying wizard, listen, I'm going to have to make a compromise here.
So the game took away your meter, so I'm guessing you're just not allowed to use your gravity powers right now?
I don't think so, but it's easy enough to just not press the button.
That's true, but sometimes certain games like this will either take it away, or sometimes they'll keep it on, and if you press it by accident, then you die.
Yeah, I'm remembering a certain part of Castlevania 3D where you have to carry this sort of
the bomb thing,
exploding substance, and you can't
Nitroglycerin.
You guys
jump or run.
played the 3D Castlevania game?
It's not as bad as you might think, but at the same time, it's really archaic.
This is
Like-
the N64 game just called Castlevania,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yes.
I think the AVGN actually ended his video on that note. I've played a bit of the game myself.
Yeah, I've seen it in action. It doesn't have bad ideas. It's just really poorly implemented.
It's one of those failed 3D adventure game experiments from the early days.
Yeah, one of those you can't really be mad at it, considering the time it came out.
There were a couple of them, right? Did any of the 3D Castlevanias become good before Lords of the Shadow?
I think one of them was okay.
Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness are not bad games. They're
just dull.
unremarkable. Yeah, they're unremarkable.
They are dull as hell. Lament of Innocence is just weak sauce Devil May Cry with a whip. Which is kind of amusing, considering what Lords of Shadow would end up being. But, you know...
Isn't that just weak sauce God of War with a whip?
No, actually, it's really good God of War with a whip, but...
Okay.
The thing about Lords of Shadow is it's a really, really damn good God of War game. It's just terrible as a Castlevania game, you know? It's one of those things where they kind of changed genres and didn't really gel with what the series was originally, famous for.
That was the one Kojima was worked on, right? Was Lords of Shadow?
I don't know.
He was involved in some capacity.
Okay.
We don't know how much, though, I bet.
Yeah, I don't know how much. There is a bandana you can get in that game to make him look like Solid Snake, though.
Cool.
As we all know, bandanas are the only thing that are recognizable with Solid Snake.
Well, I don't think the skin-tight jumpsuit was what they were going for in that time area. So.
I mean, it'd be funny.
Yeah.
It's not like Castlevania's never done stupid costumes before. That battleship's on fire.
I'm trying to think of a stupid costume for Castlevania that's not like Conan the Barbarian centered.
You mean the Simon one?
Well, no, Simon and Trevor rock similar aesthetic.
So, was this the ship we were supposed to be defending?
Yes.
Good job, Cat.
You have to put out the fires.
That pilot probably could have made it without her help too.
Probably. Everything's on fire because we're testing out a new weapon and the Nevi are acting really weird. This is easily the most annoying mission in the entire game.
Even more than following the lady around because she wanted ice cream?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Considering
the ice cream one is at least easy enough to where you just have to remember what you're supposed to do. This is, you have a lot to manage and a timer if you don't manage, if you're taking too long.
It's because if the ship, if you don't get all the fires out fast enough, the ship will.
Yeah,
break.
you have to put. Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to, and there's only so many water towers around.
So if you miss, can you be screwed?
You can, yeah.
Ooh, okay. Oh.
Like, see, that water tower just vanished out of existence.
Oh, wonderful.
Because the game is weird like that.
Oh wait, hold on.
I get the feeling that with the DLC they were.
Oh, come on.
I get the feeling that with the DLC they were kind of trying to experiment with the new ways to use the gameplay.
It's a cool idea it's a cool idea for a mission at the very least, and I can tell that they're also trying to make it harder too because
it's
it's DLC, yeah, but I can see this being pretty annoying.
Well, you have to hope okay, that one actually hit, thankfully.
Is it the hit detection that's causing the problem?
The hit detection can be weird.
Okay.
They try to make it a wide explosion radius just so you have it, but as we saw earlier, it can still be kind of weird. But thankfully, all the buildings have these water tanks on them now, compared to when they're like normally.
Man, I sure hope this city doesn't go through a drought anytime soon, because that would just be awful.
The whole city's on fire.
No, only part of it.
Because that was actually a big issue back in like medieval times before large
people just randomly taking off.
Well, no, well, I mean, maybe that was a problem too. I don't know. But
the witch.
It's back in like medieval times, fires were a big problem because getting water from place to place was not necessarily a super easy thing. So if a fire happened, like a big fire, it could go on for like weeks because before they could get it all out, other houses would catch on fire and it would spread really slowly but dramatically and whole cities could be destroyed. So, yeah. That's your uplifting thought for the day.
Is it now?
No, it's not. That was called sarcasm.
How is the ship catching fire again?
Because the Nevi are attacking it.
Nevi are attacking it.
Wait, Ryan, let me guess. The weapon they're testing is actually too dangerous for them to control, and it's causing the Nevi to freak out.
How did
Is
you
it powered
how did
by?
you know?
Is it powered by Nevi?
It's almost like
I
I
mean,
played
kind
a
of.
video game before, Ryan.
Also, the goddamn water tank got hit on something else and it didn't work. Yeah, this mission is really, really annoying. Because you really have to rely on the game hoping the physics and the aiming works.
And you don't
There you
really
go.
want to stop and be precise when there's a timer going down, I can imagine.
No.
That and, well, they're sort of Nevi attacking you in places. So,
Well, the Nevi you just kind of have to ignore. Because there's just no time to deal with them. I guess you could say there's no time to waste.
So I've noticed that the tens digit seems to be about a second. It goes down at about the rate of a...
About that, yeah, but it goes down slower the less fires are on the thing. Like, it's completely stopped because there's no fires on there now.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think.
Oh, new fires are being reported. God damn it, I just put those out.
So you do have a good, like, 10 minutes to do the mission, though.
Sort of. It goes down way faster if there's all of the fires on there.
Oh, well, okay. So...
And it locked onto the frickin' Nevi, not the fire.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can tell right now that it's going more like...
No, it's just a relay system. You tell them the Nevi to put the fire out for you.
They're not listening very much, though, those jerks.
Well, that's their problem.
Man, why did we ask the bad guys to put out the fires they set?
well, it's their mess. They should clean it up.
That's true, but have you ever
They
tried to get
start
a...
fires. It's a big scam. They start fires and then they charge the people for their services to put them out.
You sound like this is some sort of noir detective novel where the evil insurance company is setting up fires so that they get paid to put them out or something.
So you played The Last of L.A. Noire too?
No, L.A. The ending of L.A. Noire is a big callback to a whole bunch of noir movies.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
that happens in Eleanor.
You just described the entirety of
Yeah,
the
but that's what their L.A. Noire is ripping off a whole bunch of noir films. They literally call out Sunset Boulevard by name by saying, like in the last scene, "Oh, the suspect's going down Sunset Boulevard," and Sunset Boulevard's like arguably the most famous noir film of all time. So
It's also a real street.
yeah, it is, but it's also one of the most. They wouldn't have chose Sunset Boulevard
Did you,
the street if it weren't.
Did you just, like, intentionally just fly into that with
Yep, with the cooler so it would hit.
That's one way to avoid wonky hit detection.
I mean, it worked, so...
John, when you were doing the first playthrough of LA Noire, I was actually taking a course on noir film, and there were I don't remember all of them, but like they go into certain buildings that are modeled exactly like certain buildings that are in certain noir stories and things like that.
Well,
Like,
because
were-
they literally modeled every building off of 1940s LA.
yeah, but those movies weren't based off of 1940s LA. They were just random sets that they happened to have lying around. So they
But those sets could have been based off of 1940.
They
LA,
probably
too, that you
weren't
just
because
realized.
those sets were probably built for some random movie and then just painted a different color. So because studios back then were cheap. So yeah, trust me, they watched a lot of noir movies when they were making that. Like, I mean,
Well, usually, yeah.
so yeah, they weren't subtle with those references. I'm just gonna.
Kind of reminds me about how, like, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 7 has like
Same thing, Lewis.
Resident Evil 7 has like a bajillion references to a bajillion horror things. It's
Like Resident Evil.
well, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
for
that's
example.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre seems to be the biggest one because that's another, redneck crazy family kind of horror story. So, what I'm wondering, I'm not much of a horror person because I'm a wuss. So I wonder like how many small callbacks are in there as opposed to the relatively obvious one.
There's the phone that rings when you open a door, which is a Silent Hill 1 thing. There's the missing wife who's been gone for 3 years, which is a Silent Hill 2 thing.
Silent Hill 2. Yeah.
There's there's reaching your hand into a toilet, which is also a Silent Hill 2 thing. There's
Ew,
Why
why
does
would you
this
stick
game
my
look
hand in
so
there?
sad?
So what you're
there's-
telling me
there's-
is that
there's having
Resident
the
Evil.
ability to hold your hands up and deflect melee attacks for partial damage, which is a Silent Hill 3 thing.
So what you're telling me is that Resident Evil 7 is one of the best Silent Hills we've had in many years.
I mean,
Yes.
effectively, yes.
They took a lot of stuff out of the Silent Hill playbook, and the Resident Evil 2 remake is continuing that trend by bringing the flashlight into it.
Now, if
I
only
mean, it's not like Konami can complain. So
so, what you're saying is that when Silent Hill does come back, it's going to be a Resident Evil 4 clone. Okay.
Well, it's already done that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what the last two main series.
Okay, Resident
entries
Evil
have
2
done.
has Leon. They're totally ripping off Resident Evil 4.
and now I have to actually stop the Nevi.
You know, maybe if
Don't
we
cause any
killed
fires
them,
while
maybe if
doing
we
that.
killed them a while ago, they wouldn't have set the stuff back on fire as much.
You'd think, but the mission dictated otherwise.
I mean, I know they're testing some other weapons, but the military didn't have normal-ass guns they could shoot at them.
I guess not.
And nobody wanted to go out with one of those fancy jetpacks they had.
Guess
No,
not.
they do got guns. It's just that I think just because of the close proximity of the Nevi to the ship, they can't get a good shot.
Okay, so they can't send somebody out in one of those jetpacks they got?
Oh, that you got me there, but I don't know.
I think that's more of a gameplay limitations thing. That's sort of weird.
Oh,
when you,
yeah,
when
no,
you play
I
it
know
straight.
I know that the answer to why the military doesn't shoot down all the Nevi is because it wouldn't be a fun mission if they did
No,
that.
it's more because it's more that like they might be able to pull something like that off if this were done on like better hardware where more could be going on at the same time that you're doing the missions. They could have more AI characters doing AI things.
Well, you
But-
know, I'm actually kind of interested as to why they chose the Vita to develop this game for in the first place.
Probably because Sony told them to.
And probably because Sony wanted a game made for the Vita, and they're like, okay, hey, we have this project, you can partially fund it, and we'll make it Vita exclusive.
Yeah, that's honestly actually probably it, because it also allows them to not have to pay as the team as much, because it's not a big console game that needs big console resources.
Yeah, Cat doesn't like the military because they let people die. Okay. So they have a difference of opinion, and bye.
Was that character in the story before they were part of the military?
Unica, yeah.
What did
She was the, she was in, when we got back, she killed the big Nevi thing. She was in the Alias mission, or when she got back from the Rift plane and shot the Mega Buster thing.
Oh, okay.
So she's been around. And now we have the military uniform to use whenever we
I
want.
retired my uniform,
But I kept it anyway.
but I still kept it. I like the cosplay.
Also, it allows me to get veterans discounts at that cafe I like.
They also let me stand during sports events.
Oh,